480 billion coins have been bought over the last 36 hours. This is what's happening in the crypto world today. Do you want to be part of it? Have you believed me? This has been a lie. Actually, if it is true, it would be by total coincidence because I haven't researched it. And I most probably believe it is a lie. This is the sort of thing that people are believing every day. Coming to crypto, talking about crypto, or anything to do with blockchain technology. So today, to break all the myths, in the most simple way possible, I have with me Krypto Granny. Anita, how are you?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you. And thanks for the kind invite to this discussion this morning.
It's a pleasure having you. We wanted to have you since a time, especially since we had Pekka, the Papa blockchain on, and he mentioned something. He said, if Anita hears you guys talking technical terms, although I don't talk technical terms, although Dennis is not with us today, I would have hoped that he would be with us. Dennis is the CEO of Blocksquare and my partner and companion in BlockChat. He said, Anita will guys, because what she advocates is a talk that everyone would understand. And I advocate for the same. I believe that we need to distribute and expose the non-hype. We want to expose and distribute the simple terms that everyone around us can understand. I'm not a tech guy, you're not a tech lady, yet we are in the tech space. And for this to reach the biggest amount of people possible, number of people possible, and for this to go mainstream, it needs to be understandable by everyone. So today I have the perfect person, Krypto Granny, to tell us all about it. Please, Anita, start by introducing yourself, and you have a big history behind you, as well as what would we tell people today they are up to when they're looking at blockchain as a technology impacting their lives and their futures.
Thank you, Akram. Well, I will need to comment on that, Becca saying of that I will kill you or kill them. No, but I will make you crazy. By making far too many times the question like, but why? What do you mean? Or how will I see this? But yes, who am I? My name is Anita Kalergis. I am an actual grandmother for two beautiful small princesses.
God bless them.
Originally, I come from Finland. And yes, I have a long history because I'm not a young girl anymore. I have been in sales and marketing all my life. I also have been doing the past approximately 10 years almost, business consultancy in the MENA region, mainly from UAE. And UAE and Dubai plays a big role also on my path towards the blockchain and cryptos, because it was there around 2016 that I got curious and interested and started hearing about this new technology. And at the time, Dubai was very active on the meetup side of different kind of blockchain crypto events, and the one thing led to another, and I became quite active in the space, and eventually Krypto Granny name or brand, if you wish, was given to me by the Finland active Bitcoin maximalists, but also the blockchain crypto space people. I'm very flattered of that. Obviously, the name tells it all. I'm a elder female person in the space, and I was very curious and active. But already in the very beginning, I started to make these questions and start making people crazy. Like you mentioned, coming from a non-technology background, I had really hard time in the very beginning to understand what people were explaining and telling and introducing their projects or whatever it might have been. And it was so high level tech talk So I really did not understand a lot. And that's how Krypto Granny was born. I really felt that there is a need for someone to dare and not be ashamed to say it out loud. And due to that, I'm well, obviously I'm quite experienced, being not a very young person. So I felt that I have the courage raising up this matter. And 2018 and 19, I actually lived, work brought me to Malta. So I lived in Malta for 2 years. And at the time, that was the excellent place to be. I met all these amazing influencers from the crypto and blockchain space, and I have been interviewing quite a few of them. And it was always highly appreciated by all these people, what I was doing and the way I was challenging them. And then that, of course, gave me confidence in going forward with it. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And oh boy, I love it every time I can get to into a really proper, challenging, friendly, good conversation around this.
By the
And
why and the
it's so
how,
cool.
yeah? So it's all about why. And probably Anita asks anyone saying anything, why, how, 200 times. And we probably all
Yes.
should ask more whys and more hows, especially when we're hearing people talk about. And prior to us coming on set, we were talking about everyone talking about blockchain today and crypto, especially the big guys, yeah, those JP Morgans of the world and Goldman Sachs of the world. And I've heard something yesterday here that is funny to me. And I regularly try to be, guys, I wouldn't say politically correct, but I would say I used to choose my language. But I would say here simply, the boss of one of those big guys said 2 days ago that crypto is becoming the best alternative investment rather than real estate. Probably in their business, they're not making any commissions on real estate today, so they started advocating for crypto. While a few months ago, they were saying it's a scam, and probably some of it is a scam. And everyone knows I've never bought a Bitcoin in my life. And yes, I own some shares of technology projects. I am part of technology projects. I am the CEO of Blocksquare and Ocean Point, and I love technology, but I'm not a tech guy, and I am very conservative in approach. And I try to make sure that whatever opinions I create are really solid and are not with an agenda behind them. So I do believe that most of what we hear and we believe immediately is talk that can be convincing, but with an agenda behind it. Yeah? Anita, you've been part of too many projects. You've been part of teams, amazing teams that put some of those projects together. Can you please tell me one of those projects that most intrigued you? And you felt this will really impact people's lives, because at the end of the day, technology needs to impact our lives in a positive way. Otherwise, it's just a fancy thing that no one should care about. So tell me about one of those projects that really intrigued you that way.
Well, I have been fortunate enough and working for quite a few projects, just like you mentioned. My role in most of the cases have been so very on much on the operational side, and that is obviously because that is something I'm really good at. And then again, in this context or in general, I actually would not want to bring up any specific project as such, because again, my approach to this is more generic. And it doesn't matter to me actually whether I am actually involved or working for a project. And in this case, when I'm not the one who makes the calls, whether I'm involved or not, because in the end of the day, it comes down to that the what this project wants to achieve. That is the thing that in the end of the day matters. How far or how much the project actually fulfills the whole idea or the whole ideology of what we have in hands. How transparent is it? How secure is it? How decentralized is it in the end of the day? Because we are talking of something that many people call as a revolution. We want to change things for the better. We want to see and go towards a future that is nicer, more beautiful, more secure, financially more solid than what we have managed to do as a humankind so far. So we want to change the things. And the projects I've been involved, for instance, yes, quite soon you can tell. At least in my case, it's more like a gut feeling, which is not very smart, but still it's there. And I trust my gut feeling that you can actually tell from the way the team and the project owners work and do the promotions and their everyday tasks, if they are really devoted to this, what they do, if they are really honest at it, and whether the driving force with them or in them is the actual project and the outcome and the change and the revolution, or whether it's the money or the financials of it. I used to say a long time ago already, when I was offered new positions, new jobs, that if I don't believe in this service or product that this company is doing or working on, I would never join them, because I can't do my work if I don't believe in what I'm doing. I would never ever be able to sell something I think is stupid or I don't believe in. And this very same thing in me as a person applies also here. So I would never join a project I don't believe in, or smells like a scam to me, or there's something wrong in it. And that, in the big picture, is what it all comes down to in my end. And I believe it should be something that is very relevant to all of us. Because if people don't, or if people feel that there is something wrong here, or this is not what it seems to be, or something is, not right, they will never invest their money. They will never become part of your community. They will never want to be there to promote it. And that's why I think the fundamentals of blockchain and crypto in general are the ones that matter. How transparent are you? How secure are you? How true are you? And then that's it.
You
And take
pointed
it from
out
there.
you pointed out a few things that are key. Kira Mesquita, who was with us yesterday, actually, premiered yesterday, talked about people and project managers being and leaders being honest about the offsets, being honest about the things that they are compromising on to achieve what they want to achieve. Is it security to achieve a lower cost? Is it speed to achieve a higher security? What is it exactly that they are forfeiting, compromising on to get to something like that? That's amazing. You represent a big portion of the community. Actually, we represent most of the people in the world, probably. Professionals who are not into tech. We are not tech people. Neither have you written, I suspect, any piece of code in your life. Nor have I. I barely know how to write English to be able to write a code. However, because we represent that community of professionals who are not into tech, yet understand that this is the future and are not speculators, really want to understand. And I appreciate so much that you named no project, because you don't have an agenda behind it. This is the talk, guys, of someone who's not selling anything to you today. Okay, so what do you look at, and what should people whom we represent look at in a project?
Well, yes, that is a good question. Thank you for that. They should look into, first of all, the background information, find the background information, everything and anything related to a project and initiative. And of course, in most of the cases, it comes down to the team who are working on it. And I remember so clearly, especially in 2017, 18, when all this, at least for me, that was the time when the hype was there. We were all so excited, and we really had, found the gold mine, and everyone was like, whoa, now we're going to, change everything for the better. And then the scams came in. And then in a very, very concrete way, we realized that people have, or projects or teams have just been putting, famous faces on their home pages, or adding them as a team members, telling them that, this technology, big guy, he's working in our team, which was not the case. And no one had bothered to check whether this person, for instance, is involved in any way. So that the learning
and the extent of his involvement as well. The extent of his involvement. He could be involved as an advisor. Yeah?
Yes, or not at all.
Yeah.
And that was the case at the time in many of the cases. So from there, the learning for me was that if there is an interesting coin or token or project as such, do your homework, go check back the team, and actually reach out to these people and ask if whoever in which role is important to you, wherever you come from, whether you're a tech guy or a non-tech guy, financial person, reach out to these people, check whether they actually are there, what kind of role do they play, is this tech guy there actually looking over the development team, or working with the hands-on with this project. And I believe in honesty, and I believe in people in the way that if I am actually really involved in a project, and I give my permission to put my face and name up on their homepage, whatever role I hold, even only an advisor, which not in most of the cases, not just only advising, but nevertheless, if someone reach out to me and ask me a question like, okay, Anita, Krypto Granny, this and this project, of course I would want to answer, and I would give a reply to them, because I'm there for a reason. And when I'm there and I'm honest and I'm true, I want to answer. So to me, it's already a red flag only if I reach out to someone asking questions about this project and they don't reply to me. Then most likely something is wrong,
or they're too busy with something else.
Maybe they're not involved. Yeah, they don't have active role, or they are not there like at all. So that is the starting point for me always. And then of course check down to earth, own thinking. Does this make sense? That's the second question. So whatever they are trying to create and achieve here, does this make sense to me? Is this something that is possible, could work? And with those two ingredients already, I have come quite far. And I think that works for all of us. But never, ever believe someone as such. I mean, I've had good friends. I probably even Pekka has, and so many other people have told me, you should invest in that. I would never take only someone's word for it, but actually do my own check, whatever that is, and my way is my way, because then again, there is no one else to blame if something goes wrong. So
100%.
We need to accept the responsibility as well that comes along. And of course, never ever invest more than you can afford to lose. But would you choose to want to be part of this in the way that you want to invest, and that way also support these projects? Because that's what it comes down to. They need the economical, financial support as well in order to be able to achieve what they're trying to achieve. But we need to be smart. And we need to think on that regard as well. So do your own thinking, make your own decisions, and hold the responsibility whatever you decide to do.
Because anyway, you'll be responsible for the results, and you live the results regardless of the consequences. I always say making money in something you don't understand is more dangerous than losing money in something you do understand, because you create something called survivorship bias. And by survivorship bias, your first mistake would have made you money. Your second mistake may lose you so much money that makes all the mistakes that made you money nonsense. I'm sure that you've done, however, probably a mistake. while doing this approach. Can you tell us about one mistake you've done and what have you learned from it so that hopefully we can learn the same?
Well, I believe in the very beginning, I was not careful enough. I did not, and again, it comes down to that not really understanding what's going on, not really understanding this new technology. So one of the, and again, it's not huge mistake, but I'm a kind of, I would, if something I would feel ashamed of, this is what it
Yeah.
is. I've lost the seed words or the seed frame words for a wallet where I had some small amount of money because I did not put it in the safe place as I should have. And then, of course, my laptop broke and I would have needed to, the seed
Reset.
phrases to, get back to my wallet. So that's gone. And I learned a lot from that mistake. But again, all of these things, like I said, to me, it's more like it needs to be fun. It needs to mainly make you feel excited and be
It
able
needs to
to
make sense, as
smile.
you said. It needs to make sense. Yeah.
Yes, it needs to make sense, yes, but it needs to be also fun because we are creating something new, something revolutionary, something different, something better, something awesome, something that, will change so many things eventually for so much better. I do believe in that. I sincerely really do believe in that. And we can do so much. But if we don't have the patience in the beginning, all of us, the ones who are creating and developing and starting something, and us who are listening and learning and joining, if we don't have the patience here to really understand and spend some time around the fundamentals, the basics of how to do this, and if we don't, and then the mistakes and the unfortunate things and the losses and the sad things, take over the actual excitement and fun and good part, then obviously we will go nowhere. And if we are not able to make people to really want to understand and think objectively, and hopefully in the end of that decide to want to be part of this, to join the revolution. I don't really mean it that way, but I like the saying, the way, what it contains. So if we manage to make people to want to be part of this, then we are doing a good job. But we really need to have here the patience, and not hesitance, but patience, and slow down a bit,
Cautiousness.
so people, have time to adapt and understand and decide and join. Especially now when the technology is developing again so fast, so many different new things are coming along. Once it's metaverse, then it's NFT, and then it's this and that.
You
You
can't read
can't keep
fast
up.
enough. Yeah, you can't read fast enough.
Yeah.
So, you know what? You've been a consultant in the MENA region, in the UAE, for a pretty good amount of time. And currently, Dubai and the UAE specifically is a hub for everyone in the world who's trying to create a startup, or even the big guys, the Binance of the world, who
Yes.
are coming into Dubai. The Binance of the world know how to come in. They have their roots. What would your advice be for everyone who has a startup or a small enterprise or an idea and they want to develop and they're planning to develop in Dubai and in UAE? Do you have some advice for those guys who regularly do not have the legal teams and the consultants around them and the hundreds of advisors? They're just still small. What would you tell them?
Well, yes, Dubai and UAE, also Abu Dhabi, is doing a lot at the moment. And yes, definitely UAE is the place to check out. And come, probably also to come, not only to check out. And the reason being that, and what I actually like a lot in what's happening there, all the buzz, which is very positive, is that they are looking into the future in a very proactive and active way. So they have their opportunities, they have the financials, they have the methods and ways to do that, but they actually are doing that, and they are very, the brainstorming and all the ideas, as we not native Emiratis might think that, oh my God, what else will they come up with, like Museum of the Future or whatever, like how come? But this is the way they think, and that's what they have brought now into our space. So the opportunities are all there, the possibilities are all there, and the government, as well as the individuals, the corporates, and the companies are promoting the know-how. They are sharing the knowledge. They advise, they help, they support. So basically, if and when you come to Dubai or UAE, just open your eyes, widen your network, check out who knows whom, ask many questions. All the people are obviously there, and of course, my very personal advice, since I'm a very good friend with the Dubai Blockchain Center founder and CEO, Dr. Marwan Al-Zarouni. He's one of the persons who always helps and supports and gives very good advice to all these people and projects that reach out to him. And his agenda is UAE's agenda. His agenda is blockchain and crypto agenda. So I've known him for quite a few years, and I'm happy and honored to be able to call him a friend. And he's the person I would definitely recommend to reach out, because he will guide and show the way further. But there is so many other people as well, and so many other entities. But in general, again, understand where you are coming into, the jurisdiction, the regulations and the laws that apply here. Reach out to the legal entities who know and who can advise you. Again, don't believe anyone as such. Ask, from right and left, combine the dots and do your own thinking. But definitely UAE is the place to be and come. And I'm also aware that both the government, but also some non-government entities are preparing some really nice network or consortium kind of
meetups.
Entities that will combine a lot of dots. So basically, one stop shop for these people who are coming as new. And then obviously you can, just pick something small you don't have and need, or the full package from them. So that is something that we will be hearing, I believe, quite soon more about. Again, coming both from the government, but also from some individual entities and companies.
There is
So
much
there's
happening
place to
here.
go and ask questions, sure.
They have the will to live, yeah. I always said Dubai has the will to live, sustain, and grow. Abu Dhabi as well. The UAE as the ethos, the vibes are amazing. And for anyone coming new, understand that we're a young city, we're a young country. The laws are young. They're changing very fast. That's positive. They're regulating for us, for you, for me. So nothing is perfect yet. Nothing is perfect in a city that is 2,000 years old and has laws that are 1,500 years old. So it can't be perfect in a city that is 20 years of age, or 30 years of age, or 40 years of age, and it has laws that are 10, 15, 20 years of age. What I would say is that exactly what you've heard now, Krypto Granny say, look out for Dubai. try to do it right here. Compromising does not matter. There's an initiative for everyone. The government departments are so active, be it the DIFC with the Innovation Hub. There's several incubators, by the way, in town. There's many Dr. Marwan is an advocate of supporting people. He has so many initiatives. Some of them are fun. Yeah, I believe Dr. Marwan was behind the I'm not sure if you were involved in it. The Teslas that had NFT art on them. Were you involved in that? Yeah.
Yes, I actually the Tesla is just one. There is three cars that has been wrapped with the crypto artist Vesa Kivinen. He's a fellow Finn. So Vesa Kivinen's art is wrapped around those three cars. The first one is Dr. Marwan's Tesla that he's still driving around with,
Okay.
and the second was a Saturn red Skyliner, which I'm driving around with.
Oh.
And then the third one is also another Saturn. So those are the three so far. But it's just one of these amazing,
Yeah, exactly.
ideas. And
yes, you
I love
understand
it.
how it does. Dr. Marwan and many others do think in the city. And by the way, there's people who've just landed in the city a few months ago, were inspired. I know someone I know very well, Artem from Blockcheck. He landed in the city, young gentleman, and found this much potential, this much vibes. And now probably he's centered around Dubai, and he's starting Hackerspace Dubai. And Hackerspace is a space for young entrepreneurs and young coders and developers and people who are involved in technology to come around and to gather and to have a space to network and engage. So definitely look at Dubai and see what can you do in Dubai, in UAE and around. The region is very young and the region has so much potential to offer. Everyone from everywhere. And the best thing about Dubai is no one feels that he is a tourist or he is an expat. Actually, in a country and a city that has hundreds of nationalities, you always have communities around you from everywhere in the world. So you just feel and see where you fit. So everyone fits here.
Yes.
Anita, some of the stuff that people do ask usually, and they find no one to answer, are why would I invest in one of the crypto projects, not the other, beyond the team and beyond what it looks like as hype is concerned? Do you really look at the utility, or do you really look at the technology? What do you look at to say this project is a project that is right for me?
Well, of course, this is so personal thing. I believe that everyone really need to find this why, the answer to the why from themselves. But to me, I think the starting point always is that, with my common sense, what makes sense, or does this make sense? Is it really something that makes sense, is worth, is needed? There is a need for this.
So you look at the utility.
Yeah. So that's the starting point always, and then it does, of course, at some point, especially if you invest in this project, it comes along that does it make any sense to invest a small amount only, or a bit more? And then again, at this stage of the whole big development as we're going forward, to me it always comes down to that: never invest more than you can risk losing, because it's so immature and the risks are so many. And probably something is still out there we cannot even predict as today. So never ever invest more. You can actually put down on the street and burn. So if that amount you can burn out, and then if you decide maybe that's something you can invest,
guys,
if you
golden
choose
rules,
to do so.
Blocks of wisdom, because the internet in the 90s people believed would be the future, and it became the future. Yet from the 3,000 companies that were in it, 300 survived. So not everyone made money. So listen to Krypto Granny. Do not invest more than what you can lose. Anita,
Yes.
here is a question that's very important, which I wanted to lead to. What's your thoughts about the NFT world and the Metaverse world and the uses for the
It's
future?
yes. Well, I think it's amazing. I mean, it's what I understood or understand of it so far, because I'm just on the learning phase. Again, so much came on so fast, but I think
Sorry, is there
it's
anyone who's not
and
on the learning phase? I believe everyone, even the pros in it, are on the learning phase. Yeah,
oh
because
yes,
yeah.
yeah. But in understanding, I would rather say, but surely yes. But I think that the COVID and the lockdowns and all of that played a huge role here. So we all saw, no, we all felt the need to interact with other people. And when we were sitting in the lockdown for 8 weeks and requesting permission to leave to go to shop or a pharmacy. I believe that the guys who can code and develop, they really started doing things quickly, and that's what I see. Now I want to bring something from the real life and the project, the NFT cars we mentioned, because part of that project is that okay, now there is this car. Let's say there is this Saturn red Skyliner that is wrapped with Vesa's amazing art, and then the NFT in it, I can have the actual physical art piece on the wall of my house. I can have the NFT in my wallet. And then I can tomorrow I can take the meta into the metaverse, the very same car, and maybe race there with other cars. I'm a really good driver, and Finns are good
Okay.
racers, so that's
It's
surely for
obvious from
Krypto
the car
Granny
you
as
drive,
well.
huh? It's obvious from the car you drive.
Yeah. Yeah. But then comes the financial part. If and when I take the car into the metaverse world, I can, raise and maybe win some money. But then I can also visit my friends all around the world with this car in the metaverse, the avatar of me, and all of that. So that is, especially for someone of my age, that is the skiffy films that we were watching and just thinking, oh gosh, never flying
so,
cars, whatever.
so do
And
you
now
really?
I'm looking into that, and it's kind of becoming reality, and it makes me crazy of excitement and joy and also sadness, because unless I live 100 years old, I will not be around when this is reality and every day. My grandkids will, but not me. And I'm like, guys, keep them developing faster because I want to see this. I want to live this. So I'm excited, and I think it's so cool. And out of the fun part, we can do so crazy, helpful, needed things for us human beings and humankind, and help each other and help nations and countries and people in need, and support each other, lonely kids and lonely
Can I capture this
elderly
thought?
people and
Can I capture
all of
this
that.
thought, ask a question, and
Yes.
then we come back to the exact same thought? So you believe, so I believe, for example, that metaverse will have a great role in education, will have a great role in gaming, and in some of the industries. Are you telling me that
Yeah.
you believe that the metaverse will be an alternative universe where people will be living a life there? Is this what you're telling me? This is what you believe in?
Yes, that's what I think we want to see, and why I believe in that is it's related to something sad or unfortunate, but the COVID, for instance, taught us that the unexpected can happen at any given moment. If you think, for instance, in the U.S., there is every year these forest fires, and forests are burning, and people lose their houses and they are unable to go around, and then we have these pandemics, and then we have tsunamis, and I don't know what, and you know we need each other, and now when the technology gives us an alternative in the way that when there is a need or smart reason to use that or go in there or utilize that rather, now we can, and we should support that. But then again, the patience and the common sense thinking should be here as well. So this is not something we want to just lead, especially the youngsters, to go. Their life should not be in front of a laptop or computer, not in the gaming world, not in the metaverse, but rather a healthy, good, maybe even ethical combination of that. Because in some cases, the fact that we are communicating through this window here, we are both looking into, that can be the game changer, and that can be the one that enables us even to communicate or do things together when we don't need to actually sit around the same table, and vice versa. So I think smart thinking here is required and needed, but all the possibilities and opportunities are there. And then if you take, especially at this stage, the fun part of it, I think it's so cool. And I definitely want to be able to see that. So, yeah, let's
I
see.
will go back to the place I stopped you. You were saying that we want to help each other and we want to help nations, we want to help children. Can you please categorize for me, how do you feel we can do that utilizing the metaverse? Is it
Well,
on an emotional
I
ground? On an emotional side, or no? You're talking generally help people and help children.
yes, I talk general. I mean, it's just that, all these things that, for instance, if I would like to arrange a charity event, for instance, to help a country, a nation, some people somewhere, because it doesn't really matter what it is, related to. Let's take the rainforest, which is not a easy subject, but let's take them. But I don't have the financials. I cannot afford arranging a trip there, maybe involve some I don't know, celebrities, a band, a singer, a professor, or something, a Nobel Prize winner. But maybe the metaverse gives me that opportunity. Maybe the metaverse allows me to do something from any perspective, whether it's financial or another, that will allow me to arrange or do something like that. Or I have been long time ago, here in Finland, I was, voluntarily, I was on my free time 3 times a week, I went and I was spending time with an elder, lonely person. And those 4 years taught me that, I would have wanted to be a friend to all those elderly people. This association sent me a list that there is this lady or this old man or whoever, and you can choose. And I would have wanted to be with all of them. I would have wanted to go to each and everyone's house and drink coffee with them and just talk the news of the day, or watch a series from TV, those kind of, go for a walk. Those kind of things I did with her. But now in the metaverse world, I might be able actually to take on all those 8, 9 elderly people living in my neighborhood and meet them even on a daily basis for a short while, and then visit them one after another, once a week, for instance, during 8 weeks, or whatever. And that's what I mean. So there's so many opportunities for all of us out there, and we should utilize them, and also look through the hype and the talks of the money and how to become rich, or how many exits you make, your investment of this and that, but rather see that the emotional side of all of these amazing things that this new technology will allow us to do.
Satisfaction is a byproduct of you doing something right. Yeah, money should be a byproduct of you succeeding in doing something. So if you understand this, and unfortunately it's not a privilege to everyone, and we can't probably lecture to people that this is how you should feel about money and about pursual and about things you need to pursue, just because they haven't had, we were blessed to have probably a certain life that they haven't. But if I want to wish something to everyone, I would wish them to get to a state where they succeed enough in whatever they do that they're so proud about it, whatever it is, and where money becomes a KPI. And again, it's not lecturing to people. We do understand that people do not have enough money today to get their daily needs together. However, I wish for you guys that you reach a point where you have all the money you need. And the rest of the money that you can get is a KPI, yeah? To be a successful businessman or businesswoman, you need to get more money from successes that you do. So it's not the money, it's the successes, and the money comes as a byproduct of those successes. And here, I've had an amazing session with you, Anita. I loved everything we talked about. It was very understandable, I believe, for everyone. And at the same time, we talked about subjects that each we can make a session about and probably talk about for 10 hours. And it started becoming just now more exciting. So it's so unfortunate that every block chat has an end. Unfortunate for me, I'm sure for some of the people who are watching us who don't like that, it's so pleasant that it has an end. So, Anita, is there anything you would like to tell our community or anyone who's watching us today that you haven't yet? Or is there a question that you wanted to be asked and you weren't asked?
Yeah, well, actually, no, thank you for Makram for inviting me. I've enjoyed this, and the hour just, flew out from the window. It was really amazing discussions, and I so agree with you. Any of these subjects I could discuss, full day of each, and I would enjoy every second, and be challenged and challenged. But in the big picture, I just like I've always been saying, and I keep saying that people out there, open your mind to this. Be selective in your reading and hearing, and ask many questions. But please, really have a look. Give the technology a chance. That's what I always say, and see if there is something for you or not. But I think some really amazing and cool stuff are on the way in the big picture, and it's not all about money. So yes, this is fun, and I'm so excited, really, really, for the future to see where will we end up. So maybe we need to book another session in 10 years' time just to check what we talked then, and what do we have in hands right now.
I always say the coming is fascinating. We're coming up to days that are amazing because of the speed of how things are happening, guys. Be involved in the world today. Every 10 years you live are similar to 50 to 100 years that our grandfathers have lived, because things used to happen very slow. Yes. Anita, I'll tell you a secret, guys. Anita, before coming online, said that, this is one of those days where you wake up and you're not fully running, and I need to probably search for the words. And Anita, I tell you, if this is how you search for the words, you're doing quite well on it. I had so much pleasure seeing you today. Krypto Granny.
Thank you.
Yes, the real, original Krypto Granny on Block Chat today. So appreciated. I wish you all the good luck for the coming ventures, and I wish that you see all the advancements with 100 years and beyond. And guys, thank you all for joining us today. We've been with you on a Block Chat without Dennis, unfortunately, but he would have loved to be with us this time. Until next time, guys,